Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Back at it again with another video for y'all on this Tuesday morning. But first and foremost, Grand Rising. I was just wanting to chat with y'all this morning. I was wanting to do another story time video with y'all because I know I had talked with y'all about that I might do a story time about this, but this is another story time of mine about when it was my first year playing football and about how I had wanted to quit. So here's another story time of mine. So yeah, story time. My first year playing football, I had wanted to quit. So yeah, my first football practice, it was kind of sloppy because when we had to do all those drills, when we had to do all that running around, I started to get tired because my body wasn't like used to working out like that because and like the PE classes, like when you're running laps, you're jogging, but if you walk, it's not like the coach is gonna yell at you. Like we were getting like yelled at and stuff, and because we have to hustle, we have to push ourselves, and with all that going on, yeah, with all of that happening, like I kind of like had got into the mind state, like is football like really like a sport for me? But I showed up to practice the next day. I showed up to practice the next day, and we still doing the same drills. We still running sprints. We still doing a lot of running, and the coach is like yelling at us. And then I remember like it had got to the point where when my dad had picked me up, he would like telling me saying that you act like you don't want to like be out here because I was dragging because I was walking. And I remember like when we had came home, like my dad had asked me did I want to quit, and I nodded my head yes. And then he's like, why? And like he ended up telling me that the coaches, they actually want me to play. So I was just in my room thinking. I was in deep thought, like, and I remember my dad came into my room and asked me, what am I thinking about? And he was like telling me, saying that he thinks I can bench press like 135 or 140. And let me remind you, I'm just a 12, at this time, I'm a 12-year-old kid. I'm young, I'm naive, and I just want to be somebody, but I hung in there. I hung in there. I hung in there. Like when it was my first year playing football, I kept playing until we had ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs. This is back in like 2009 because I remember we had lost the last game of the regular season, and we also ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs 8-0. But losing in the first round of the playoffs, it was a close game. We ended up losing 8-0. It was a good game. It was a close game. The football season was over, and I decided to play my second year in middle school. But yeah, when it was my first year playing football, I had thoughts about quitting with it being my first year because I felt like I couldn't really deal with it. I felt like I couldn't really handle it. But when it was my second year playing football, and also too before the football season has started, with it being my second year, I also had went to football camp. And going to football camp, I ended up getting used to everything. When it was football camp, when we had to run sprints, when we had to jog, I was hustling. I was hustling when it came down to jogging. I wasn't walking, I was jogging, and I was running sprints the whole time without walking, without stopping. Same thing when I played football in middle school my second year. I wasn't walking when we had to run laps around the field. I was pushing myself. So yeah. But yeah, yeah, that's a like story time of when it was my first year playing football. I had wanted to quit. So yeah, just another story time because like I said, like when it was my fifth year playing football, I became a starter. I became one of the team captains. I started at two positions: offensive guard, offensive tackle. I won trophy for most improved player, and we won the conference championship playing JV football. So yeah, that's a story time of mine. Just wanted to do another story time of mine when I was playing football. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share, like the video. And again, my new song, Keep Your Circle Small Freestyle, it's on my YouTube channel and it's also on my SoundCloud. Y'all can follow me on SoundCloud at Wally G. Let's run it up. Let's blow it up. Love y'all.